Hi there everyone, welcome to another episode of this video tutorial series on academic illustrations. In today's episode, we will be looking into Adobe Illustrator and learning how to make these types of illustrations quickly and easily. This is something that I got inspired by just looking into some of these graphical abstracts of Journal of Medicinal Chemistry, but the purpose is that I don't even know what this molecule is called. I just drew a bunch of lines and put together some elements and drew this one. It's just to show you guys how versatile and powerful Illustrator is. So please just look at the techniques described in this video, and I hope you will understand how to draw your own academic illustrations using Illustrator. It's a very versatile and very powerful software, and definitely one of the most popular softwares out there for drawing right now. And of course, it has a very helpful forum. I mention this every time. This is one of the best advantages of using a very popular platform, that it has a friendly forum and you can find answers to your problems and to your questions easily. The disadvantage of Illustrator is definitely that it is not free. It's not freely available. You have to be subscribed to their Creative Cloud service. Luckily, I have the subscription, so I can use any of the Adobe apps whenever I want. But if you don't, there is a very good alternative, and it's called Inkscape. So Inkscape is also a vector drawing software, and it is heavily inspired by Illustrator. I can say that it is right now the best competitor to Illustrator, and it's freely available for Linux, Windows, and Mac. So no matter which operating system you are working on, you can get Inkscape and use it as a substitute for Illustrator. Their Inkscape 1.0 version just dropped on May 1, 2020. So this is great news that the stable version is out. And if you just look at the interface, you can easily understand the tools on the left-hand side, and the windows that will appear over here on the right hand side are pretty much same as Illustrator. So it is heavily inspired by Illustrator, and I have used Inkscape for 6 or 7 years now, and I really like it. So if you don't want to use Illustrator, I would suggest going for Inkscape. However, both have the same principles of operation. So today I will be focusing on using Illustrator only, but you can apply the same concepts to Inkscape as well. All right. So with that said, I think we can get started. The first thing that we are going to do is create a new artboard, and this is the screen that will be shown by Illustrator, and we will use a custom template. So the width has to be 960 pixels and the height has to be 540 pixels. This will be the same resolution of the PowerPoint slides, and so when we export them at 300 ppi, all of our exported images, either from Illustrator or from PowerPoint or MATLAB and Python, as we explained in the last episodes, all of them are going to look in line. They are going to look in sync. So please use this width and height, and it will look well organized when you actually write your reports with all of those images. It doesn't matter which software you used. If you are interested in learning about the export techniques from PowerPoint, Excel, MATLAB and Python, they were covered in the previous episodes, so please check them out if you are interested. Alright, so we will hit create, and this is our artboard. And the first thing we are going to do is create, I think, 3 or 4 layers, because we want to separate our drawings into several layers for well organization. First thing I'm going to do is change the name of this layer, because it's going to be our background. This is, although it looks white, it is actually transparent. The artboard is white, but when we actually export our images, we want the images to have some sort of white space, like a frame around them. So the background, I would like to draw a rectangle. I will choose the rectangle tool and draw a white rectangle covering all of the artboard. I will turn off the stroke. So this is just a white rectangle, and I will now lock it in place so I don't make any changes while drawing on the other layers. Alright, the layer 2, I think I will draw the molecule. So I will just give it a name. The professional artists never actually draw anything from imagination while drawing vector artwork. It's very difficult to do. So it is highly recommended that you have some kind of sketch or some kind of like template which you will use to actually trace. I hope that made sense. So in our case, we are just going to pretend that this is our hand-drawn image that we have previously drawn on a paper, taken a photo, and now we have imported it in our artboard. So we will use this as a template to draw our next vector image. So this one is just hand-drawn image, and I think this one actually should be like the template. So let's just call it temp, and this one is our vector. So this one is the actual molecule layer. Now this one, of course, we don't want to move it or change it, so we will lock it as well. But before that, let me just change the opacity of this layer, because we don't want to be like distracting us from our original artwork. So let's just put the opacity at 25%, and that will be much better. All right, that one is locked. We will go into the molecule layer and start drawing. Over here we have a hexagon, so I will go into the polygon tool. I will click over here at the middle, and this one will pop up. I think the radius is, I don't know, 50 pixels sounds okay. Hit OK. The polygon is created with a white fill but with no stroke, as I can see over here, but actually I want the opposite. I want no fill, so I will just click none, and I want the stroke to be black. Alright, now let me just zoom in and rotate it. I will hold down shift so that the rotation is done at 45 degrees. Like steps, it is controlled. That looks nice. I will also hold down shift and alt while dragging, resizing. So okay, so I just selected the selection tool by using the shortcut V on my keyboard. I will reposition it slightly. Okay, now I just need to change the stroke width. I think something like 4 would be nice. That looks okay. Next I will use the pen tool to actually draw these lines over here. That one looks okay. I want to keep it as an open path, so I will hit escape. That is done. I will scroll over here and then draw another line. Escape, escape. Alright, let me draw the final line over here. Go over here, escape. Alright, so this part is very easy, as you can see. If you can use the pen tool properly inside Illustrator, your life will become so much easier. The pen tool is your best friend inside Illustrator. Alright, we will use another pentagon over here. Polygon tool, I need 5 sides. I will hit OK. Alright, I will rotate it until it is just 330 degrees rotation. So I can place it now on top of over here. I think I need to resize it a little bit, so I will hold down shift so that I'm resizing it with proportion. Okay, a little bit more. Wow, that looks nice. Alright, so this one over here has a different radical. So I need to actually cut a opening over here. I can do that again by going into the pen tool. And when I hover over this path, I can see that the pen tool actually indicates that I can insert a new anchor point. So I will click over here. It created an anchor point. I'm sorry. I think I need to be actually selecting the path. I'm really sorry. So after selecting the path, I can go into the pen tool. And here I can see that the pen tool actually shows a plus sign near it. So it will insert a new anchor point. So one anchor point over there and one anchor point over there. So these new anchor points will now hold this shape. I can actually now go ahead and delete this one. To delete that one, I will hit A to go to the direct selection tool. I will select this anchor point and hit delete. Alright, that is done. So next we just need to insert this radical over here. And for that, I'm going to use the type tool. I'm going to click over here. I'm going to type NH, select, go into the character window, change the font family. I think regular is okay. Font size, I think I will go with 28 so that I'm keeping the same font size with the other exported images. Alright, that looks nice. So this part is almost done. Because only we are on the molecule layer, we are just going to do the molecule over here. The lock and key, they are going to be done later. Okay, we also have this line over here. I can again go into the pen tool and click, and then okay, so escape. I will go over here again, change this one to be black. Appearance, the stroke should be something like 4. Okay, that's nice. Alright, so now here are these lines over here. For this line, again go to the pen tool. Okay, now that we are done with all of the lines, we can just copy and paste these text to create the whole of our image, the molecule, right? Alright, so now we just need to make this into a subscript and we are done. Alright, so that is basically it for the molecule over here. Now we need to create these shapes. For that, I'm going to use a different layer. So let me go over here. I think I will call it something like lock and key. Okay, and I'm going to lock this one so that I don't make any changes unintentionally. Let me select the rectangle tool over here and draw a rectangle like that. And I will use these pointers over here to round out the edges a little bit. That just makes it much better. Alright, roughly in place. I don't need to be 100% accurate as the last image because it's just a tracing, right? Okay, so I'm going to use something like a dull green color for this one, and I will use the color guide tool over here. And over here I can select what kind of color swatch I'm looking for. I think I will go with something like this, and this color looks nice for me. So I would like to change this one to this by right clicking on this color panel. Now we just need to create this handle over here. For that I need to zoom in a little bit, and I think I can use both the ellipse tool or the pen tool over here. I'm going to go with the pen tool. I think it is easier. So I'm just going to click here, go straight up a little bit, and then I'm going to hold down Alt and click here, and I'm resetting the pen tool by hitting it with Alt. So I'm going to go and drag up while holding down Alt. That will let me create a curved path over here. So I'm going to go exactly as this horizontal level up to this point, and then I'm going to drag it down this time until I can see roughly this shape. I think something like this. Okay, don't worry about it. We will use the stroke later. So for now it's okay. I again want to reset this anchor point because it is letting me create a curved line. As you can see, I don't want a curved line. I just want a straight line. So I need to reset this anchor point. I will do it by holding down Alt and clicking over here. Alright, so now I can just left click and the path is done. I will hit escape so that it now has an open path. I want to remove this fill, so the fill needs to go away. So I will hold down Shift and then left click. That will make the stroke into this dull green color. And now I will just resize these anchor points, because I think if these both handles are at the same level, they are going to look much nicer. So I will just drag it up a little bit. I can actually use a guide for this one. So I'm going to hit Ctrl R, and that will let me see the ruler over here. I'm going to click over here and then drag down, and that will set a guide for me. This one is much better. So let me click on this anchor point. This is exactly the same place. This one needs to come down a little bit. For some reason, I really can't get to this point. Why not? I think it's just the pixel. This is the boundary of the pixel, so I will be happy with that one. I wonder how I could get this one though. Okay, alright, so I moved both of them a little bit down, so that looks nice. You have to do all of these things on the fly. Things can go this way. You have no control, I think. Alright, so let's just increase the width to 6 points. Yep, that looks nice. I actually want to increase these handles, like the height for both of these. So let me just take that, move it a little bit up, and then handle this one as well. Oh, right. That looks so much better. I will select this one and make it touch the body of the lock, and now it is okay. Now we just need to create the keyhole in the body of the lock. For that, I'm going to use the ellipse tool over here. I'm going to draw an ellipse. I'm going to hold down Shift, so it actually creates a uniform circle. I'm going to let go. Because the fill is over here is white, I can see that perfectly. Alright, next I just need to create the rest of the shape. I will go to the pen tool. I will click somewhere like this. I will hold down Shift. Maybe I don't need to hold down Shift. I will just go somewhere around here and then go straight to the middle, click here, and then go up to here. Alright, so I have created a closed path, and I'm going to use this path again. I'm going to duplicate it, Ctrl C, Ctrl F, and it will be pasted in front. And now I need to rotate it. I need to reflect it, so I will go into Object, Transform, and then over here Reflect. So I want a vertical axis for the reflection. I'm going to hit OK. That's done. So I'm going to move this one somewhere over here, and as you can see, the shape looks pretty much okay. I think I would like to reduce the width of both of these, so we can actually select both of them and then reduce the lateral width a little bit. Right now it looks much better. Alright, so another great tool to use inside Illustrator is the Pathfinder window for joining shapes or cutting out different shapes. So I'm going to show you guys how to use that one right now. So with these three objects path selected, I can actually use this Unite option to create a one single shape from the three different shapes. They were overlapping, so now it has become just one shape with a single path. And I can also select this one, and then hit the minus front to cut out the shape that is sitting in front. So this one is in front of this very big block body. So if I hit this one, you can see that this cut out a nice little keyhole for us. Alright, so now we have just one shape and this one. It's much easier to work with. I'm going to hit Ctrl G to actually group them together, and now they are going to move as one unit, right? Okay, the lock is done. The key is actually much easier. I'm just going to use the ellipse tool. I'm going to draw a circle again. Just move it over here. And this has a fill but no stroke. We want the opposite. So we will turn off the fill. And for the stroke, maybe I can go into the color guide again. And I like something like this. So I'm going to right click it and it will become the stroke. I'm going to change the stroke width to something like 4 points. That's nice. let me use the rectangle tool and create these shapes very quickly. Okay, all done with the shape, and I adjusted the color a little bit because I found it to be too bright. So to keep up with the color scheme, I adjusted the color a little bit. We don't need this guide, so I'm just going to delete this one. Okay, so now we just need to create these box shapes over here, and we can actually say that this part of the molecule is locked and this part is the key that will open it. I don't know, you can think of any explanation you want. I just got an inspiration and drew this one. I have no idea what it means. I think I have already said that 2 times. Okay, to create those shapes, we will use a different layer. So I think I will call them like something like a marker. So just go in, use the rectangle tool to create a rectangle and use these handles to create a rounded edge. I think I want the same color as this one, so I'm going to use the eyedropper tool. Alright, as you can see, this marker is actually in front of our text. We really don't want that. So this is the benefit. This is the benefit of using the layers technique. Because we are making all of our markers in this top layer, I can actually just click it and then drag it under the molecule, and now it sits under the molecule perfectly and our text is perfectly visible. Alright, I think I will adjust it just a little bit. This one, for my taste, it's just too visible. I can't see the font properly. So I will go over here like appearance, and then this section has the opacity of the fill. I think something like 60%. 60% looks nice. I think I can go a little bit lower, something like 40. I think now I don't need the template anymore. So I will just hit this eye icon over here, so it will toggle the visibility, so I can actually see how my finished image will look like. And this one, I think the opacity 50% would be nice. Yeah, that looks nice. Alright, so I will just click this rectangle over here. I will create a copy, Ctrl C, Ctrl F, and then move it over here. Because this layer is already underneath the actual drawing, it will show up behind our molecule forever. Okay, so to indicate I want to make this the same color, I will use the eyedropper tool. It also copies the opacity, so we need to change that again. Alright, perfect. As you can see, our image is already looking pretty good. I will group this one. And by using these simple techniques, you can actually draw your own shapes, your own drawings using Illustrator. I know that I just showed a very simple technique, but there are tons of different explanations on tools, and it's going to take me so much time if I have to explain all of these. So this is just a brief run through of the basic 4 or 5 tools that I have shown over here. I think I need to show you guys how to actually export properly. So let me just go through that process. Before exporting, you need to make all the layers visible, because if you can't see the artwork in your artboard, then it won't be exported. So this molecule temp that I don't want to export, I'm going to leave it invisible, and I'm going to unlock the background, and I'm going to unlock the molecule layer. Okay, I'm going to select everything and then select this asset export tab, like this window. So this one shows up. I'm going to hold down Alt and then drag everything into this area. Okay, so this will create an asset for me, as you can see over here. So it is good to go. The reason I told you to actually press Alt, because if you don't press Alt, Illustrator is going to create a separate asset for each of your element. So let me just drag and drop everything without holding Alt. And as you can see, it actually it's actually ready to export 21 different elements from my artboard. We really don't want that, so let me undo that. So after selecting everything, you need to hold down Alt and then drag. Okay, that is done. Here you can see that Illustrator is asking for the scale, the output resolution. So Illustrator is literally made for exporting images for web viewing and printing, and so we can actually adjust how detailed our images need to be. So I can just write down 300 ppi in the scale window, and then it asks me for a suffix. So I just wrote down tutorial. I will show you guys where it shows up later, and you guys can choose the format over here. Okay, I will go with PNG for now. I will just click on asset 1 and then hit export. It is asking me for a folder. I will select this Illustrator folder and hit select folder. So this Illustrator folder, this 300 ppi, this folder will be created by this program. So I didn't actually make this one, it got created by default. When you see this new folder at your selected location, if you go inside, you will find out that it has this name, asset1, and then your suffix. So I chose tutorial as a suffix. Illustrator is going to export everything like asset1, asset2, asset3, and at the end, your suffix will appear as an indicator that what was the image that you were exporting. So as you can see, it is high resolution image that you can actually use in all of your research projects. In the previous episodes, I only showed examples related to electrical engineering. So this time I wanted to do something different. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions on how to use Illustrator or any other general questions about academic illustrations, please let me know down in the comments. I will try my best to help if there are any questions or problems. The template file for this tutorial will be uploaded in Google Drive, so you can download it. The link is in the description. There is one last request though, because I was doing this for the purpose of my coursework here in Tokyo Tech. I have prepared a short quiz. It will just take 5 minutes to actually fill it out. If you guys have followed me through this tutorial series, I will be very grateful if you can take 5 minutes time to fill out the quiz over there. It is just for the purpose of writing the final report of my coursework, nothing else. With that said, thank you very much for staying with me till the end. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.